I do not like how orange I look. I'm kind of orange, and I'm gonna try and fix that because that's bothering me a little bit. Anyway, so I had somebody message, not really message me on my Facebook account because it was like a message request. But anyway, and they were kind of not being the most, how am I going to say this? They weren't really the most intelligent of the bunch, if that makes sense. And yeah, they kind of were just saying things like, "Oh, I'm all good, Kayla." Pretty much what they were saying were things like, "Crystals don't do anything. They're just something that you put on a ring, and that's really it. They're just stones of minerals being put together by whatever." Like saying that they don't have like a magical use or anything along those lines. So hopefully the individual that messaged me all that, hopefully they're watching, so that way I can, give them an idea on how to use them in this magical witchy poo way. Anyway. Essentially, all these little things and like so many more that I can't fit on my hands. Every single one of these things all have their own unique magical woozy woo like aspect to them. Every single one of them has its own unique property, use, what have you, for them. And they are not really technically all the same, because I'm going to be trying to go into a lot more than just like, well, this stone just does this. No, like actually taking them back to a void state, giving them an intention to pretty much re-emit, and then actually using them when they're intentionalized. That's not even a word. Oh no, the beat stick. So anyway, so pretty much really, essentially, the easiest and the most simple stone, and probably the most vital, in my opinion, and probably a lot of people will agree with me on this. And if they don't, well, there's an issue there. The most vital stone out of every single one that's on this earth, or has even came from space, is the master quartz, clear quartz. Because it doesn't matter if you need a specific intention or anything be emitted by a stone, regardless of what it is, the clear quartz will be the one that'll be able to mimic it for you perfectly. If you don't have a specific stone to actually do that intention on its own. Because since it's clear, it's blank. But now say if you try to give, let's say if you're trying to use, say like lapis lazuli, and you're trying to increase your blood flow, lapis lazuli is probably not going to be the one that's going to help you the most. Or even better yet, if you're trying to use carnelian to help you be able to have your third eye become active, carnelian's probably not going to be the one that's going to help you the most with that. If you're trying to let's say, get a connection with higher frames of mind, or like using trying to like astral project and astral travel, black tourmaline is definitely not going to be able to help with that one. If you're trying to keep yourself grounded and secure and not going all over the place and trying to travel to like other realms, amethyst will be probably the one that's the most ideal for that. But now, say if you're not wanting to be, I completely forgot I was going to go with it, but if you're wanting to, let's say, pretty much do like dream work, hematite is not going to be the one for that, because hematite is probably, if not one of the most grabbing your ankle and pulling you back down to earth stones, the most grounding. So with that in mind, like I said, the clear quartz, not snow quartz. Clear quartz is a stone that pretty much you can have it do anything. But if you don't tell it to do anything, by default, it's just going to just amplify everything that's around it. Be it good, bad, dreadful, it doesn't matter. If it's next to it, clear quartz is going to amplify it if you don't tell it what to do, by default. Now with that being said, say if you were just walking out minding your own business and all of a sudden you look down and oh look, you find a little quartz on the ground, or like in the desert or something when you're walking. You pick it up, so then you decide, oh, I'm going to use this thing. So now, as always, you don't know if someone actually put a little curse on this thing. You don't know who's manhandled it. So you have to void it. Now when you void something, there's so many ways of doing it. And I'll be referencing well, not really mine, because I didn't write this book. I'll be referencing at least the part of actually giving it intention and the whatnot. I'll actually be referencing Gemstones of the Adversary by my friend Gindred. But I'm not going to give all the ways of doing it. Probably just the elemental way, along with one other way that is not commonly known of. But so when you void a stone, what you're doing is you're putting it back to a state of neutrality. And you can do that in many ways. There's the elemental way, which is depending on what element you want to actually essentially kind of be like the core foundation focus for the stone to be in. Like for example, say if you wanted to use this any crystal that you get, even if it's like if someone comes up and hands you a rose quartz like that, even though it's cutesy and like, oh, it's in the shape of the heart, they must have woozy woo for me. You don't know if it's booby trapped. So just completely void it out. Yeah. And also like buying online too. But then again, buying stones online sometimes can be a little bit shady and questionable, because I wouldn't trust like everybody, especially one of the things that tends to be common, and by common I mean like way too common, is that people tend to usually get too woozy-wooed. That's my lack of a better word. I don't like how this thing looks like it's about to fall. I'm going to fix it. Hopefully it won't. Don't you dare. Hold on. This thing's... Yep, people would. Don't fall. Hold on. Well, so much for that. Oh well. One of the don't you dare stay. No, keep it still. I hope if it falls, well, whatever. Anyway, what the heck are you doing, dude? There. So people, they tend, like the thing that's going on like with TikTok, like people being all, let's all get a piece of Motivite. How about a clear quartz instead? No, you don't understand. Motivite is like the best stone ever for like spiritual awakening and spiritual work. It can do it too. This can do it too. Heck, even this little one can do it also. So, what's wrong with getting a clear quartz like about this size, which probably would not even be like no more than like 50 cents because of how small it is. And this little thing probably could do a lot more than that Moldavite piece. And you don't even have to worry about getting scammed. Because it's only, the real Moldavite is only found in the Czech Republic. And this little piece of quartz, literally, because of how tiny it is, probably like about no more than $1. No more than $1. Because if it was more than $1, I might be a little bit concerned, but still. This little thing, this clear quartz, literally can do anything you tell it to. Moldavite has a specific thing that it can do. So with that being said, now, again, depending on like what intention you're wanting your stone to pretty much be the focus point of, will kind of show a general idea on how you're going to pretty much void it or put it back to its state of being blank. The advantage of clear quartz, and with all the quartz stones, but primarily clear, is that you can pretty much void clear quartz how you deem fit. So that means you can easily use the elemental way by either putting it in the dark, and the dark will just take all the energy off of it, and then it's blank, and then you can give it intention. You can wash it by putting it in water and just washing it by hand, and soap, obviously. Or you can put it in water, like sea salt and water. You can simply just blow it, not like that, you nasty. You can dig it in the earth, but make sure you remember where you plopped it. You can put it in a house plant, and the plant will actually go and grab into it and suck the negative energy off it, and then the plant will consume it. Or you can do this, which probably may not work as good because, I have a fan going. Not a fanboy, but still. Like with the fire, but instead of road, but when it's on, you just simply 1, 2, 3 that way. But also bear in mind, not all stones can take the heat. So then that way you got to be like a little bit more careful with that. The fire method is a little bit cautious and a little bit like, would not be really that jazzed with it. But nonetheless. And then the dark way was simple. You just take this, put it in a dark spot, and then you pretty much just make it known that the next time you pull it out, it'll be completely void and be able to be intentionized. Not all stones can be, and you can also put it under the moonlight too, a full moon, if deemed fit. That's another way. And then if you're actually in tune and actually able to like pull energy off of it, what you can do is pretty much put it in your receptive hand like so. Yeah, that would be like the same thing as, well, with candle smoke, when you're, or incense smoke, that'd be like using air, because smoke is the air element. And with like the candle flame, pretty much is the same thing. Like the ether, yeah, that's fire. But now say if you're wanting to just use yourself to actually like pull the energy off and then just disperse it, you take the stone and then you have it be pointing inwards toward you. In this case, this thing, the way it's shaped, it would go like this. So what you would do, have it be facing towards you like this, and take your middle finger or fingers like that, and have it be like pushing into your hand like that. Push down with your fingers there. That way all the energy is being pushed into you. It's going to go like this. And then with your other hand, the hand that you usually are dominant, but if it's the other way around, then it would be the other way around. So then you would just hold it like this, bring all that energy out, and then what you're going to do, bring it in, and then you're just going to push it all out with your dominant hand, like so. And I don't know if you can tell, every time I do that, this thing just got a lot clearer. Yeah, it was not that clear a few seconds ago. So then after, when you have your stone all voided out, that's when you can pretty much give it the intention that you deem fit. Don't bang stuff now. So say if you were wanting to use this stone for, say, like a love work. Okay. So you can either, one, you can take a specific essential oil of a plant. Where did... Stop with my stuffed brownies. You can take specifically like water with has intention in it, or you can just use enchanted water. Just plop the stone in there. Really, dude. And the stone will actually become infused with the intention in the water. Or you can take, well, you can't really see that one. You can take essential oil of a plant, in this case jasmine. Simple. Just, well, this is going to sound odd. Just grease your palm with it. Yeah, I know. Woo, okay. We're having our palm nice and greased. Ooh, woo. Greased palm. And if you know the properties of jasmine, and if you don't, well, fine, I'll tell you. Jasmine is pretty much is a floral plant that's all about like a love connection that's spiritual, and is also a man woozy wooer, and is also good at like attracting things to you in a way that they can't even pretty much pick up on it. It's an attraction that pretty much goes over their head and they can't figure it out. It's an intoxicating kind of a scent. And it's also really good for helping lull something to sleep. So now this thing is imbued with jasmine. So now this clear quartz will start emitting the qualities of jasmine. But now say if you wanted to give it a specific intention, this is essentially like a woozy woo mix. Just like before, except, I can't really have it be rolled on because it'll make an oily mess. So, greased palm again. And yeah, just have the intention going, and then boom. This thing now has jasmine on it, and now it's also imbued with an intention to woozy woo someone. Now, when you have your stone imbued and intentionalized, you can use the stone, like say if you're going to make this a focus point on a grid, or if you're going to be burning a candle, you can put this with that candle as well. What you don't want to do, now that you have the stone imbuing, jasmine and woozy wooing someone, don't take the stone and throw it at, your love interest. Just because it's able to be like, okay, this has jasmine in it, okay, but it also can woozy woo. Oh, there he is. No, that's not really intended how it's supposed to work. I mean, you could try, and no, that's just because if you're wanting to hex someone with a stone, you can do that if you want to. You can actually use them for adversary or malefic intent, but this book by Kendra explains how to do that much better than I ever could. So, you can definitely use it that way if you want to, but it's probably not suggested that you imbue a crystal with an intention and then be like, oh, there's this sucker, and hit him in the face. I mean, if you want to, yay. If not, well, meh. But now, special crystals that you have to be a little bit more cautious with. Here's one, rhodochrosite. Rhodochrosite is a stone that is it's not really in the mood to get wet, if that makes sense. So you can't put this in water. If you do, it's not going to be happy about it. So in this kind of a situation, in order for you to cleanse it, you can either 1, put it in the earth, 2, you could run it through incense smoke, but not like diffuser mist, because that does have water vapor in it and the stone's going to get agitated with that. Or you can just flame at it. Not that kind of a flame, but if you want to flame at it like that, well, whatever works for you, go for it. And then just like before, I mean, if you want to do it the most simplistic way, recessive hand, push it inward like so, and then with the other dominant hand, just chuck the BS out of it. Yep. It was not that bright before. Careful now. It's gonna sound like somebody fell and landed on their tush. Oh well. Let's see. Another one. Calcites. They don't like getting wet either. Don't get these little guys wet. That goes from the pink, blue, green, any calcite. Don't get them wet, because they'll be sad that they're wet now. Morganite. Morganite can get wet. And any of the barrels, they can get wet, because they're able to withstand it from being at least rated at least a 7. All the quartz can get wet, but when in doubt, don't get wet. But all the quartz stones like rose quartz, amethyst, green aventurine, blue aventurine, citrine, cornelian. I don't have any shadow quartz on me. Smoky quartz. Hematite, probably would not get that one wet. At least in my opinion. But what you can do with hematite, since it's so like tied to the earth, you can probably be best to put this little guy in the ground. And then as soon as you pick him back up, just pretty much give him the intention of what you want him to do. But then again, hematite is pretty much really best known in case if you're somebody who's all whimsical, woozy woo in the mind all over the place. Hematite will grab you by the ankle and pull you back down to earth. Another stone that's not really, you really don't have to really do much with this one. Selenite. Because selenite is known to be so pure that you could essentially, I'm not sure how I can put this. You could pretty much, okay, this is the best I got. You could essentially flip off selenite and it's not even going to flinch. It's going to be like, okay, I'm still pure, so I don't know what's wrong with you, dude. But say, like, if you're going to, you don't need to really cleanse selenite, but most definitely don't put selenite in water, because selenite will just go or the sheen effect on it will just deteriorate. And then you would come to find out that you wish you never did that. Kunzite, even though, and yes, this is my fandom stone, so deal with it. Kunzite, now, it can handle the water, but it's rated on a most hardness scale of 5, so I'm kind of cautious with my Kunzite pieces. So probably would be best if they were pretty much put in the element of earth. Green Aventurine can be pretty much with anything. Another one that's a little bit touchy. Tuctipite. Yeah, Tuctipite's a little feisty one. It doesn't like getting wet either. Rutilated, I believe that's what it is. Rutilated quartz. That one, again, is a quartz, so you can get it wet, but it's kind of counterintuitive because rutilated quartz is known to have a bit of a zzz effect to it. So make sure that you don't get the water. Don't make sure you don't get yourself electrocuted. But nonetheless, one other way that you can actually program the stone, I'm only going to say one, and it's not going to be the really fanciest one. Also got to be careful too, because sometimes when you expose certain stones to light, it'll actually damage them and make them kind of in like their color tone and their natural coloring. Like for example, if you take a piece of, where the bloody heck did it go? That's a tiger's eye. Bloody brownies again. What did I tell you guys? Stop taking the stuff. Like for example, if you put amethyst in the sunlight, it's going to get agitated because it's like, oh, okay, I'm just going to get dull now. Amethyst does not like being in the sun. Okay, yeah, fine, you can have the amethyst back, just don't break it. But, so when you're getting creative with like how you're giving your attention to a stone, as one of the ways Kendra mentions in her book Gemstones of the Adversary. Where the heck did it go? There's a method called lighting. No, you're not going to light it on fire. Leaving your stone or crystal to rest under a specific colored light in order to program it with the use of color vibration. For an example, say if you're wanting to like charge carnelian, well, you can put it under an orange or reddish light. And going backwards to find the page where I was just on. Bloody. Here we go. Red light to charge it with the properties of the strength of Mars. Green for Venus, like Aventurine, or even if you want to be really woozy or technical, Kunzite, you can put that under pink. A white light or blue light for, well, really white light or black light if you want to use moon or Saturn or a Saturnian way. But I say like if you're making a stone to be used for malefic intent, like say at this black tourmaline, to pretty much like, believe it or not, you can actually use black tourmaline as a vampiric stone. Because black tourmaline is known to pretty much pull to you, so you have to have this pretty much be like your focus point and have it just pull energy towards you. And yeah, you can just simply use black tourmaline to, you know, suck the life out of someone. Or if you really want to be nasty, you could, again, just use a clear quartz and give it the intention of, okay, you're going to be like a blood quartz. And then pretty much when you hold on to it like so. Yeah. I just had that. Give me that. Essentially, you're giving that quartz stone the intention to pretty much become like an energy road. Rude. Thank you. You're essentially giving that stone the intention to pretty much become like an energy black hole, and it starts pulling towards you when you hold on to it. But just make sure also when you're pulling in energy and if you're doing any kind of vampiric work, make sure you know how to transmute. If you don't know how to transmute, you're in deep doo-doo land. And we do not want you to end up in deep doo-doo land. Unless if you're trying to, purposely get yourself poisoned, then woo, you nailed it. Please don't do that. So, essentially, another way that you can also use your intention stoned. No. Is that you can get out of the way. No, not literally, but what you can do is, I don't even know if that's going to fit, but screw it. Only one way to find out. You can actually use now charged stone off with you. And say like if you're going to charge a candle, simple. Somebody get their ankle biter and, put it back on his leash. Get your ankle biter. Somebody's ankle biter is loose. Still. So if you were wanting to pretty much charge this this candle with the same intention as this quartz, not funny. Still. You essentially would pretty much put it on top of the candle like that, and then just have it sit there for how long as you deem fit. Or, like, say if you have... Yeah, I know. Yeah. But still. Or if you're lucky, which sometimes I'm not, but we'll go with it. You can actually be able to, like, carve into the candle with the stone that actually has the intention in it. So pretty much what you're doing is you're writing the intention onto the candle and it's getting imbued with the same intention as the stone. Or if you kind of... Oh! Okay, I'm thinking like, how come that name just seems so familiar? That's right. Okay, your ankle biters. Get your ankle biters on their leashes again, please. Get your ankle biters. Thank you. Still. Or, if you want to be like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you can pretty much just do this. Intention stone that has the intention in it. Yep, just stab it right in there and just leave it there. So now when it's, well, other than now having a gaping hole in it. Oh, that's so bad, but who cares? Because now since this stone is now pretty much like stuck in this candle now, even though it should have been stuck at the top, but oh well, we're going to go with it. Pretty much now the intention that was in this stone is now being imbued into the candle. So you can just hold it there for as long as you deem fit. Or if you're lucky and have it like this and it can stand on its own without falling over. Pretty much as soon as you deem fit, you can just pick it out of the candle, and now the candle will be infused with the intention. But I'm going to have to fix that. That's another way you can use the stones. But also there was also the crystal gridding that you can also do, which I don't... Let me see. See if I can play Tetris with this. Oh, sit. Bloody thing. Okay, screwed. Don't mind the out of line room, but still. Like for an example, get out of my life. Like how you have that, and this way, essentially you have a crystal grid, and then everything is like being focused onto a center point, like that. But yeah. That's one idea. Well, I mean, hey, Nightshade. I mean, hey, you could be like what's going on like with me. You saw what I'm going through. Yeah, it's BS. Much BS, and I don't mean to blind you, but still. Do you mind a scooch? Sit still. If you fall over, ring thing, don't. It's like this thing wants me to break it. Thing's like a bloody masochist. Cupcake? That was not. It's like, okay, there we go. Stay. Don't you move. Okay. It's just I don't trust this thing and I got a feeling it's gonna fall. Okay, I'm trusting it. But pretty much, really, that's essentially really all that I can think of, because I don't want to get too like over the top, overly fancy, and too advanced, because some people may not even really comprehend most of the stuff. Yeah, well, even I struggle with that, Kayla. That's something that I struggle with quite too much. And hey, I admit it. Well, as for me, I'm over here still dumbfounded. Because I'm just thinking, like, why is this happening again? What's with all the name? What? I don't understand how. I don't understand how I'm not being liked because of pretty much me stating the truth. Well, everybody has like the parts of them that are the, like the most darkest and the stuff that is usually the most difficult to pretty much withstand. Everybody has them. Even I do. Though, nonetheless, though, there has to be a common idea of just having patience with someone. But if it gets to a point where it becomes like every day, and it gets out of hand and it starts harming other people to a dangerous degree, then that can be kind of seen different and probably may need to get some assistance with that. I mean, I used to be in that kind of a mindset standing too, so I know exactly how it is. But most definitely, though, one of the things I cannot stand. One of the things I cannot stand. And coming from a position of actually enduring it, it's the idea of essentially calling somebody else who's actually not anywhere like what you're calling them. Like, for an example, I mean, I was called having the traits of a serial killer for some reason, but yet, that's just so agitating. I don't know. It's just like the whole idea of just like people picking on somebody or something that they can't help. Like a good example, I used to be made fun of because when I was I think it was I was in 5th grade. Yeah, in 5th grade, I kind of, for some reason, started growing hair on my legs. And yeah, I used to get made fun of it all the time. And boy, that did not make me feel good at all. So, what I used to do, and I mean, I'll admit it, because it's what it is. What I used to do was actually take a pair of scissors and actually start cutting the hair off. Even sometimes in class when no one was looking, I just started to trim it off. Just trim. And a few times, classmates actually saw that and they were actually making fun of it. But either way, for me, at that situation, I was stuck in a position of like, well, it's either I damned if I do or damned if I don't. So, might as well just get it off. Up until the point where I just had enough of it, and I'm like, you know what? I had to figure out a way to get rid of it. So, I got a shaver and just got rid of it. I've been maintaining it for like ever. Because yeah, I do not like it. It makes me feel like a Neanderthal. It's agitating though. Still. And heck, I even remember someone, what was it? Oh, another thing that I used to get made fun of, even as an adult sometimes, is my vitiligo spot. If you notice, like how my eye, like around here, my eye sockets, you actually see one is lighter than the other. There's like the pigment right here, and then look at this eye. It's like, okay, we have normal, kind of a little bit darker pigmentation on this side. What happened here? Lighter, darker. And some people say, why are you wearing makeup on one eye? I'm not. This is a vitiligo spot, dude. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, you can go piss yourself. And heck, after a while when I kind of figured out, oh, wait a minute. I know of an animal that kind of has the same, condition as I do, having like a spot on their eye. I know of an animal that has like a spot like around their eye. So pretty much I pretty much came up with the idea of just saying like say somebody makes fun of me for it. You're just mad because you're not a panda like I am. I mean, I'd be mad too if I wasn't a panda. So, do you? Oh, that just agitates me. And even at the point, too, it kind of does make me even just curious and thinking, what good is coming out of this then? Putting down someone over something that they can't help. What good is going to come out of it? Why are you doing it? What are you hoping to achieve from it? What are you going to gain out of making someone else feel horrible? And the idea is gain. What are you going to gain for putting down someone? If there's any kind of response to that at all that's supposed to justify it, well, congratulations. You're kind of needing to have your head checked. But still. But bear in mind, keep in mind though, there's a difference between putting down someone over something that they can't help, like a protected status, like skin color, ethnicity, pretty much their living situation, their family heritage, their background, their nationality, their pretty much like what they're born with, their disabilities, if any, but I put disabilities in quotes because sometimes, like with some mental impairments, like autism, sometimes I even say that even having it myself to an extent, sometimes I even say it's kind of like more an advantage because we can see what the everyday person cannot. It just depends on how you go about it, but still nonetheless. If somebody's making fun of someone else because of that, that's kind of like saying, wow, dude, really? You're going to swing that low? Okay. Well, I mean, I can swing low too, but expect your grapes to pop. Yeah, I'm just like, if anything, it makes me just want to say, are you guys just mad because you don't have red hair? I mean, stop being jealous. I mean, if you're having a hissy fit, why can't I have red hair? You can. Dye it. Problem solved. Now stick it. Well, that that's kind of an awkward. That is an awkward situation to be in because sometimes one of the difficult things to come to terms with is sometimes when you when you come and you're born, you don't get to really choose your mother and father figures. If that makes sense. Because at least for me, I never had my father around, and I didn't have my mother around. I was raised by my grandparents. So yeah, that I had neither one. And I pretty much never really spoke with my father. But my mother, yeah, let's just say her and I are kind of like the same individual, except the only one of the big differences is that if you make her mad, she'll probably explode like a nuke on you. While I'm over here just like, okay, what happened? What's wrong? How did this happen? Let's try and work this out. But if I table flip, there is a good reason why I table flip. I don't just table flip just to table flip. And even when I do table flip, there's obviously someone's intentionally making me want to table flip. Don't fall. And I'm also, well, I'm thinking about it too. I'm going to be planning on trying to figure out like how I'm going to be doing make sure you go the speed limit and not going 50 and a 25, dude. That's criminal speeding in the state of Arizona. That's none of my business though. People tend to go 50 on this, this residential street up the hill. Like, oh, okay. It'd be a real shame if an officer saw that because, yeah, you'd be, doing criminal speeding. Oops. That's none of my business. That's what I was saying. I'm thinking about, like, for next month of June, changing up, like, how I'm going to be doing the specific format for doing the tarot readings. Like, for example, say, like, actually, I kind of want to actually start focusing on more of a, like, trying to figure out what kind of a reader I'm going to be focused on. Either like a love, probably a love focused one because usually that tends to be the most sought after question topic. Like for example, is this guy who I have a crush on, is he a man hooch? Yes or no? Probably. But you never know. Yeah, actually, you know what? I have an idea. Milkshake. I didn't tell you to do that. This thing makes me just want to jump off a cliff. Not literally. Get over here. Oh boy. Now watch, somebody be like, "Get copyright." Okay, well, the word copyright's copyrighted, so what's your point? It's satiric, okay? Well, Kayla, what if I was to tell you, you're taller than me? I'm only 5'5" and 130 pounds. Yeah, I'm not that tall. I'm short, white, but a little terror. No, not really. Only if I get pushed to it, then probably. So anyway. Wait, what? Eight points for speeding? Well, that's like what they have for like the state of Arizona. Well, I mean, it's not a bad thing because the good thing is that, well, my license is good until 2060 something. I don't know how they're going to change. So if you're going over the speed limit, if you're speeding and someone gets killed, even if it was an accident, so that means, to be technical, if you're speeding and if you cause an accident and someone dies, technically you could go to jail for that. Hey, stop yelling, prick. In all due respects. I just want to table flip on him. So without further ado, anyway, my idea was be like, okay, definitely not showing jumps to row, along with the dark goddesses and daemons. Let's see here. Give me the insight if I was to run, if I was pretty much going to be only a love cheesy woozy wooey. Actually, here's a better idea. Yeah, depending on the judge too. Actually, you know what? You know, it'd be a good thing I should actually start reading for. Well, but then again, it's going to be pretty limited. But I don't really see, much of the, the LGBT or primary, yeah. I don't see much of the LGBT having like their own readers yet, as far as I know. I might be living under a rock, but still. If that's the case, pay attention, kid. So that sounds so bad. That might be the avenue where maybe I should consider going down. Maybe, but still. But then again, I would have to pretty much do one for, whatever. Magical, like, God, whatever. We'll go with it. We'll see how it goes then. But still, that is if the original idea. Okay, called it. I'm gonna be the first one to do it. Nailed it. Nope. If someone tries and think that they're slick and taking that from me, well, I'll have you know I'm the one who took it first. Vulgar. Well, so far it looks good. the idea has segment and power. Okay. Turn up the sass and get... Don't be afraid to get cray-cray with it. I must be determined about it. Okay, Moth. Now we're getting a little bit pushy. Okay. Well, that's nice. Just jump out of my hand. But I cannot forget that. Let's see here. Oh boy. I even want to know what is going to come out next. I mustn't forget the Morgan. Okay. So the idea of me having a lovey-dovey, cheesy, woozy, wooey, well, and rainbowing love tarot focus. Well, the whole thing is going to be having empowerment to it with segment. I just need to remember and stay seeking out to be determined with it. But I most definitely must not forget that I can go be bloodthirsty for it. I have the drive for it. Okay. I mean, I'm not complaining, but we'll go with it fine. That's kind of a point blank in the face way of saying, duh. Okay. We'll go with it. Whatever you say, Cardstock. Okay, now the three out of this Daemons and strange other additions. Let's see what comes out of this lovely pile. Oh, yeah, this is one of the cards. Like, that's not a demon. Witch is round. So, along with segment, I guess supposedly, what's going to be empowered is empowerment that involves a dance that often involves leaping, whirling, and spinning wildly around a fire. So, the whole thing about, the lovey tarot reading, supposedly I'm going to be empowered and it's going to be involving spinning whimsically and woozy wooing around something that's flaming. There's a number of power, and the dance is often performed in steps of 3. Okay. Okay. So we have pretty much that's what's going to be empowered of this whole thing. And what has to be sought out when doing this odd dance, I guess. I'm kind of like really scared. What has to be sought out is... Okay. Well, not really sought out, but well, needing to seek out, but also... So with determination and kind of being, because they're being Lucifer, there has to be the idea of seeking out being one who brings light and enjoyment to it. Because Lucifer is not only the light bearer, but he's also Venus, and Venus is a guru that teaches you how to enjoy the world while you're here. Okay. I think that pretty much gets to the gist. But now with the Morgan, I wonder what else can come up with this. Going bloodthirsty for it. I mustn't forget to go bloodthirsty for it. And, okay. Oh boy. I mustn't forget to go relentlessly for it, but also be a little bit cray-cray, and, you know, making it known that, hey, you're not going to take this away from me, otherwise you're going to end up being a victim of Alistair. Yeah, and Alistair is not really known to be the most gentle kind. I mean, he's known as an executioner. And is also maybe even potentially related to the Greek goddess Nemesis. So yeah, that does not seem like someone you want to make mad. I already pulled him. At least that's what those two oracles say. Okay, not too bad, but I'm still kind of concerned about the empowerment of taking a dance of 3 steps and going around a thing that's flaming hot. No, don't be, you know, doing that 3 dance step around me in a circle. No. I'm not the thing that's flaming, okay? If I am, whatever. So now the Tarot part. Okay. Careful now. Don't fall and break your neck, because that's kind of sounded like what happened. Somebody's anger biter is out again. Get it back on its leash. So definitely not Shonen Jump's manga Tarot. Give me a cross, if you would, about the idea of me having a, you know, one of them Tarot channels I saw about lovey-dovey, cheesy, you know, woozy-wooing, but with a twist. It has rainbows in it. Tell me about it. Is it a good idea? Is it just asking for having spears be thrown at me? Or is it going to be like world's dumbest dimwits? And don't hold back about it. Bonus points if you actually make me blush on camera. No, that was a joke. Don't make me do that. Course standing. Ace of Twigs. Screw this deck. Okay, well, definitely speaking soft and carrying a cupcake. Careful there. Definitely we got an idea of speaking soft but carrying a big stick. Bonus points if anybody knows who said that. It was a US president, by the way. That's the only hint you're going to get. So, having the Ace of Twigs, encountering the definitely not more anime-friendly Dark Magician, or the Magician. So speaking soft, but carrying a big stick, encountering a magician to... No, don't say that. Whatever. So the Ace of Twigs is going to be carrying around someone who is actually able to use the tools that he has to manifest something. So the twig is encountering someone to wave it around. Vulgar. We're going to go with it. Foundation or the cause of this hot mess. Oh look, there's Chris Farley, the devil. Okay. So the cause of all this is the desire to live life and live it hard. Okay, I'm not complaining. Yep, there we go. Teddy Roosevelt. What's behind me or backing me up, and I'll watch it be something silly like death. Like, oh, look at that. Death is backing me up. No. Behind me or backing me up is the King of Swords. So it looks like either one, a figure that is fair and just and logical, or to be technical, that could even be myself, because Aquarius moon and rising with a Libra sun, a lot of blowing going on with that one, so that could even be I'm backing myself up. Okay, whatever. On top of the head are the best thing or desired. That sounded so bad. On top of the head is screw this deck. My card. Okay. I think we have our answer, but anyway. What's coming for the face? Oh, that sounded so bad. We're gonna go with it. On top of, actually coming right towards my face, is Five of Pentacles. Which I don't see as a bad card. It's just showing that even though it might be challenging incoming, but with endurance I can be able to get through no problem. Self-perception, we have Eight of Twigs. We have Hong Kong Phooey Twigs Ahoy. That's how I'm seeing myself, like, okay, Twiggy away. I got nothing. I'm being seen as the Three of Pentacles, collaborating with myself and someone else. Unfortunate, I think that's a good idea. I'm hoping for, but also definitely afraid of. I'm hoping that I'm pretty much taking full guidance from this, you know, throwing of card stuff, and I'm also afraid I'm missing the message entirely. The most likely outcome to come about of this hot mess is Dansaboro from Japanese mythology, the Knight of Cups. Wish, enjoyment, and fulfillment. Clarify that, would you? And with this Nine of, you know, solo cups, we get Six of Pentacles. Okay, we kind of have fair and balanced trade happening. Okay, that's not bad yet, but we're gonna easy cupcake. Six of Pentacles with He Who Is Hung Most. And that's just what I call the Hangman, okay? It sounds better that way. He Who Is Hung Most, and that, okay, whatever you want to go with, fine. Page of Pentacles. Okay, well, it looks pretty good to me, so, what is this? What is the hardship for this Five of Pentacles? So that way I know what I'm about to walk into. Five of Pentacles clarified with a Knight of Twigs. So coming from my face is a situation where I'm going to have to move Hong Kong Phooey and move a cupcake with a love tap. Okay. Why is the cause of all this, you know, Chris Farley? Tell me that, please. It's because of working myself to death. Okay. Why is my card on top of my head? Or the best, whatever. Well, that really doesn't need to have clarification because, oh, look at that. It's a hot queen and a wet queen. Queen of Wands with the queen of, you know, solo cups. And this magician, is it going to be an obstacle of trying to get this thing to work, or what's about it? Well, most definitely it's going to be having it being hot and wet. That seems to be like a recurring thing here. There's a lot of wetness and a lot of flaming. I think we have our answer. We have our answer anyway. King of Wands. Okay. No. Screw. And suggested course of action. Okay. Ten of Swords backwards and the Judgment, bring it back to life. Okay. And there's the Queen of Sass, so most definitely, yeah. I have my answer, and it's going to be a yes. So I guess from this point onward, I guess I'm going to be a lovey-dovey woohoo reader. But I guess I'll probably have to make like a segment for like, okay, like Aries Flamers, Taurus Flamers. Yeah, you get the idea. Page of Pentacles bottom. And Three of Swords backwards. Okay, we're getting somewhere, hopefully. Page of Swords with Knight of Cups. Five of Cups backwards. Kinky. Okay, decision is final. So it looks like that'll be the kind of the new plan of it all. So we'll see how that goes out. Stop shaking me. I'm not in the mood to be shaking bacon. No, don't call me Porky the Pig. Of course, not everybody. Too many people are messaging me at once, and no, please don't. Please don't say that.